coming to you live inside Queen Elizabeth II Park here in Casino. This is round 13 of the NRRRL for 2019. The Casino Cougars taking on their co-ladder leaders, the Ballina Seagulls. Dwayne Neville here. It's an absolute pleasure to be back on board here for round 13 of action in a potential top-of-the-table clash between the Cougars and the Seagulls. Joining me in commentary once again is Nathan Cross. Nathan, how well set up is this one for today's clash out here in Casino?
G'day Dwayne, and good afternoon to everybody tuning in via the Markov Media Sports YouTube page. Mate, this will be a cracker this afternoon, an absolute beauty we've got on cards here this afternoon between two teams that are going really, really well, two very consistent teams this year, and also, you know, having the same team on the park most weeks as well, which I know is something that you raised with me in the pre-show. So, mate, really looking forward to it.
I must iterate too. Casino Cougars are actually currently in third, so they're on 18 points, while Ballina are currently tied with the Moolumbar Mustangs on 20. Of course, if Casino do get the job done today, they will join Ballina and Casino on first. If they don't get the job done today, they will remain at third spot. As we now get that out of the way, let's get the tale of the tape of the two teams. And as Crossy just mentioned, there has been 13 players from Ballina Seagulls this year that have either played every game or it only just missed the one. But with the Casino lineup, so from the last time they played here 2 weeks ago against Cougars, Thomas Walker and Denzel Dangerfield, the top try scorer for the Casino Cougars, have come back into the lineup. They are joined in the back line. With David Jackie, Noah King and Brent Scott Hall, and in the centre pairing with Rodney Collins. In the halves is Trevor Bolton and Roy Bell, and in the forwards we have Josh Beach, Dane Petty and Nick Morrissey. In the second row, we have Michael Ship and Theo Hippai, and Hayden Pratt is locking the scrum. And Clyde Hickling, Jay Riley, Collins, and omissions from the lineup from 2 weeks ago. Who do we need to know, Crossy, about the Ballina Seagulls as we get ready for kick-off?
Yeah, mate, the Seagulls will line up as per program and as per what they've done most of the year as we just get underway. Just quickly there, side for this afternoon. Oh, we've got a mistake off the kickoff here.
Oh, potential early mistake there for the Seagulls. Let's see what comes out of this. I just think they've been getting off the hook. Just knocked that one back there, Crossy. So the Ballina Seagulls line up?
Yeah, we've got Oliver Regan at fullback, Chad North and Reece Riches on the wings, the centre pairing of Kel Sheether and Liam Anderson. The halves is Jamie Lyon, he's the captain coach, halfback Jess Perry, and in the front row we've got Phil Crosby and Nicholas Ritter, Zach Beecher is at hooker, and the back row of Anthony Coleman, Jack Durham and Michael Dwayne. And off the bench today we have Andrew Moody, Andrew Brasek, Raymond Buchanan and Matt Crowhurst.
So as we get underway here in the first minute of action here at QA2 Park, so Casino coming into this one, of course, with that tragic death from...
Tim Watkins.
Yeah, Tim Watkins from Mullumbimby. So that game got caught. That was their last game they were supposed to play last week. So their last game since was a 14-12 win against the Cougars Hornets. And going into this one, they have won 5 out of the last 6. Though this is why I thought maybe Casino, but as well as being on home turf there, Crossy, that why they might have the edge if it especially becomes a close game. 8 of their last 10 games have been decided by 8 points or less. So Ballina, on the other hand, have absolutely knocked teams out of the park when they have won.
Yeah, they've shown they can win ugly, Casino, haven't they, this year? And
absolutely.
Mate, I've been really impressed with the season that they've had so far. And even coming in through the gates here today, there's a good crowd. There's, as you mentioned, mate, there's a lot of cars as you sort of drive in, and there was actually quite an air of expectation and sort of anticipation around today. So there's a good take there from Regan.
Taken there by Regan on their 10-metre line there. So this will be Jamie Lyon now to play from dummy half. This will get into the hands of Reece Riches. He's met there in the tackle there by Brent Scott Hall, so one of those very impressive players from 2 weeks ago in attack. So as I must iterate, it was a 14-12 win to the Cougars over Cougars. And for Ballina, they've had some big wins in the last couple of starts since they last lost to Cougars. They've like when you look at score lines of 50, their last win was 54-4 against Cougars last Saturday, and you match that up with a 58-10 win over Evans Head. So they're basically playing on either ends of the park. So Ballina, I think the closest they've actually come, well, as we can see, the penalty given there by the Seagulls. I'm just looking at here, Crossy. When Ballina win, they win big. And since round one, they've only failed to score less than 20 points only once this season.
They've got some real potency, haven't they? This is probably our third game of the year that we've called Ballina, and each time, we speak about the attacking prowess of guys like Oliver Regan and, of course, their skipper in Jamie Lyon. So it's no surprise that they've managed to score as many points as they have this year. And here goes one of those men through Coleman.
Nice run by Coleman. So they're about 20 metres away now from the casino line. This is going into the hands of Ritter. That's Lyon. Gets it in. That's, it's looking promising for the first few minutes in. That is actually Oliver Regan getting over the stripe early and adding to his 10 tries he's already scored this season. And Ballina put the exclamation mark early at 4-0.
Great try from the Seagulls. We were just talking, weren't we, just about their attacking prowess and how sort of destructive they can be with the football. Anthony Coleman took it off the tap, run a good line, found his sort of 4 and 5 man in the line there, found his sort of edge back rower and the other middle forward, which means that they created the space on this edge here. And we saw Trevor Bolt rush out of the line for Casino and try to get up and in on Jamie Lyon and solve it from the outside. And if you come up with those plays and you shut it down, it's a great play. But if you don't, it means you're going to be another man short, which Jamie Lyon, he was too smart on that occasion. He just sort of ducked inside, went back, passed on the outside, and Regan,
that's now 11 tries for Regan this year. So, sorry, Crossy, as I was about to mention, though, you're saying that the massive attacking prowess that Ballina possesses, they've had 10 players already this year that scored 4 tries or more. So, it comes not just from one player, which you probably find a few of the teams in this competition does. It's everywhere across the park.
Yeah, this year was always going to be an interesting one for Ballina because, they come in with such high expectations every year, given that the great decade or so that they have had. But a little bit of changing of the guard. We saw Jamie Lyon come in as captain coach and a few of their big name stars, the Montgomery boys and Batiste, Dan Gibson, all left as we see.
And that just fades away there. So Sus remains 4-0. Ballina's gone the first try early in the first few minutes here at QET Park and Casino.
Yeah, so it was going to be interesting to see the year that they did have, and they kind of jumped out of the blocks. And Jamie Lyon's done an amazing job with this team this year. They've got a really well-balanced team. They've got some good forwards. They've got some smart halves, obviously, some edge-back rowers like Coleman that dent the line. So, and obviously Oliver Regan, who I just can't wrap strongly enough, and they get back in play.
Now, here's an interesting stat as we continue on Ollie Regan. We'll put a full stop on it soon enough. But I just want to iterate, that's now his 11th try for the season. His first try didn't come until round 6 against Maris Brothers. So he's scored a couple of doubles too against Maris Brothers, Tweed and Byron Bay, and he scored 4 tries against Evans Head. So yeah, so he's got into the. It took a while, but he's got himself right into the groove in this massive attacking prowess, as we mentioned, called the Ballina Seagulls.
Yeah, well, he's opened the floodgates, hasn't he, for himself with his try scoring. So, as we see Ballina come back through this middle third, this is the beauty of what they can do. They've got a guy like Nicholas Ritter who can actually use the football, as we see Jamie Lyon put a bomb up.
So that kick is just inside 40, so this should be into the hands of Dangerfield. He's just missed it. That's going to be Kel Shiva. They're trying to soccer kick it. And so that's actually going to be called a knock-on against the Cougars there. So Ballina, they're really in now prime position to go off the bounce for back-to-back tries here. So let's see what comes out of that one, Crossy.
Yeah, and a good set after points, wasn't it? I mean, they scored that good try through Regan, and then they have a good set after points, which is always important, So Captain Coach Jamie Lyon would be happy with that. So Cougars, they've come up with an error, and now the Seagulls, they'll have a scrum 10 metres out on this right-hand side of the field with Big Shape to the left.
So this will be now Jamie Lyon to play at 10 metres out from the Cougars lines. Last time these two teams played, Ballina getting up 24 points to 16. It's when Ballina have won, that is the closest anyone's come to beating them, with aside those 2 losses they did have against Moorlambar and Coogin, which were both, I think it was 4. And so he goes over the dummy. So close there. And I think they like it. I think they might have just got some of the steam and over the chalk, and the referee's just pointed to the spot. So just out of nowhere, Ballina get themselves a second try at 8-0.
Oh, that was too easy. They'll be really disappointed with that, the Cougars. They just didn't sort of switch on there. Coleman ran a great line. He nearly got through the tackle of Jackie, and then I think it was Jess Perry found himself a dummy half, and just too quick between the ears there for them. Perry, he just dived straight over. That makes the lead 8-0 with a kick to come.
So what a start for the Ballina Seagulls, who have got a big points differential in first spots. Casino, of course, this is their chance to put themselves as a candidate for potential minor premiership. But as I mentioned there, Crossy, 24-16 was the last time we called that game in very early in season, round 2, I believe. And it was also, as I just mentioned, that I couldn't quite get the whole sentence out when that happened. So basically, that is the closest that Ballina, like when Ballina win, I was saying before, when Ballina win, they win big, because that was 8 points is the closest, and I think that no one has got within 20 points of Ballina anyone else. As the kick goes over now, makes the score 10 points to nil, the Seagulls over the Cougars.
And Dwayne, I clearly remember that game that we called in round 2 between these two sides, and mate, Casino were really close that day. Just a couple of little things. I remember Roy Bell and Trevor Bolt just sort of controlled the game really well that day, but they just didn't quite capitalise on their chances. I think Noah King took a bomb for a cross kick and it would have been a try, but he was ruled offside. Just the little things like that just didn't go their way on that occasion. So they'll be disappointed to find themselves down 10-0 so early.
So when you talk about Ballina's last 4 games, of course when they had that blip against Coogin, losing 22-18. So 54-4 against Kyogle, 58-10 against Evans Head, which is a differential of 48. 50 points to 16 against Northern United. That was all the games since that big one that they played against Byron Bay out at Kingsford Smith Park. So they've scored 50 points in the last 3 wins. So that's Cougars are going to have to really put their Stonewall defence up, which I mean they've surely done in the past, which is why they've got where they are.
Absolutely. Tackle 5. Now they're going to run this.
So their kick goes over. It's going to be fine. The lights there. I think that's going into the hands of that's David Jackie. He's taken there about 20 metres out from the Cougars line. This should be I think this is going to be played off there. That's David Jackie there with it playing it. He's held there just inside 30 on the second phase of play. This is Petty to play from dummy half. He's beaten out there. I think that was Jack Durheim, and the referee there is called offside. So this should be Casino's first chance inside Ballina's half a field.
Really smart play from young Petty there. Good vision. He looked up. He could see that Jack Durham was offside, and he ran straight at him. So now Trevor Bolt will find touch on around the 40-metre line. So they'll put themselves in good position here to really have an attacking set.
Ballina coming into this one with a differential of 312. So either way, they're going to be either tied with either Moolumbar or Casino, depending on which part of the ledger they come after 80 minutes. So thus far, they'll be tied with Moolumbar. The Mustangs, of course, they've got the bye, so they've got 2 points gift in the bag this weekend, courtesy of the bye. So this will be now Petty to play it. He'll have the likes of Roy Bell. That gets into the hands. That's Hayden Pratt. Brings it into the hands now. That's Bolt. He's brought in there by Jack Durheim. This will be about the 3rd or 4th tap. This has gone into Bolt. Bolt kicks across. He had numbers on the left, but it's just well responded there by Jamie Lyon. And they'll have it now about 2 metres away now from the Seagulls line.
Yeah, they didn't come up with any points there, the Cougars, but they'll be pleased with that. They got themselves back on track. Trevor Bolt put a nice little grubber in. Jamie Lyon stuck the foot out, and here we go.
Oh, so that bobbled into the hands of Chad North, and I think, what's he called there, forward pass, I think that was?
I think he's got a forward pass off the ruck.
So this is now a perfect opportunity to Cougars to bring back some of this early 10-point differential they've conceded in the first 10 minutes. So they've got that one about 7 or 8 metres off the scrum feed. So that's the thing with the Cougars. It's they basically they won't get much better chances than this, Crossy, and they're gonna need it because they know how to defend well, but the points, the for against the points for column is not exactly as high as they like either.
No, and I think what they'll be looking to do here, Dwayne, is really get to a far side and get Bell and Bolt connecting with each other. They're close here.
Nice short side play there by, that's Rodney Collins, but I think he's just short there. So this will be played at now about 3 metres out, 5 metres. Oh, no, he's going to be asked to take it back to the 10. This will be Dane Petty to play it. That's in the hands of Ship. He's bowled over there just about 5 metres shy of the Ballina try line. So in the first 12 minutes here, 10 points to nil. If you just joined us, this is Bolt. And he's fought about the kick, but he can't. Fought twice of it, as you can see down the Ladbrokes scoreboard. 10-0 to the Seagulls over the Cougars. A couple of quick early tries there for the Seagulls early. So that's in the hands there of Theo Hipper. I think he was one of the try scorers here 2 weeks previous against Coogin Hornets. So this will be now Petty to play it. This will be the 4th tackle. Gets it through the hands. Nice inside pass there to Jackie. And he's brought down there. So actually this will be the 4th tackle now. Petty. That's gone in the hands of Bolt. That's Roy Bell, a little kick across. It's beaten. Chatnoff, well taken there by Noah King. And the Casino Cougars and what a way to get them on the score sheet. And down there, making the score 10 points to 4, kick to come.
Oh, good hit back from the Cougars. It was a nice kick from Bell. To be honest, when it came off the boot, I thought he might have sort of hit it on the instep of his foot, and it was sort of heading for the dead ball line. But Chad North got a hand to it, and they were good enough to find themselves over in the corner there. So well done to the Cougars. That all come on off the back of that forward pass from Ballina.
So a lot of their tries this year for the Casino Cougars have come off the feet of Roy Bell, and Noah King has got himself on the score sheet in a very big way.
Well, Chad North will have nightmares about that bottom left-hand corner, because in round 2, Dwayne, on that occasion, it was Trevor Bolt that put that cross kick in that just went over the hands of North. So I think he'd like to have his time again there, North. He just needs to check his positional play there and maybe just give himself some more width.
So Noah King, that's his 4th try for this year's campaign. He actually did score against the Seagulls in round 2 at Kingsford Smith Park in Ballina. Other tries coming against Tweed Coast Raiders and Evans Head Bombers. He's a 2019 under-23s Northern Rivers Titans representative. And when he was playing Junior League, he was a Group 1 representative at 13s through to under-15s level. So he's not shy of rep expertise there, Noah King.
And we've spent a little bit of time talking about Ballina. Just to shift focus to the Cougars for a moment. We mentioned we've called a few of their games, the round 2 clash, and then we called them against Northern United at Crozier Oval in Lismore. And I saw David Jackie played fullback in round 2, and then he played against United, and he was playing in the centres. He's back at fullback today as we see this kick.
Nice long kick, and had the distance, but didn't quite have the accuracy. So Ballina still with a converted try in front in the first 15 minutes here. Courtesy of Ladbrokes. Head over to ladbrokes.com.au or download the app today. Gamble responsibly. Ladbrokes, proud sponsors of Markoff Media Sports live stream here at the NRRRL and, of course, the NRRRL competition.
And the point I was just going to make there, Dwayne, about Dave Jackie is that I think he's so much more potent at fullback, where he can play in and around the ball, play on the ball, support those sort of big forwards, those young forwards that the Cougars do have, and really be an option sort of inside and out for both Trevor Bolt and Roy Bell. So I like the way Jackie plays, and if they're going to win today, he needs to have a big game.
So as we get underway now, this is going to be taken up by, I think that could be Nick Morris. No, sorry, that is Josh Beach. Does well to get about 10 to 15 metres. This is going to be played off by Petty. I think that is Nick Morrissey.
Yeah, that's Morrissey.
Just brought down inside the 30-metre line away from the Cougars end of field. And there's Michael Dwayne there getting involved in defence. He's probably more known for his attack. And I noticed there, Michael Dwayne, he's now got rid of the orange boot. He's gone a full set of shoes, full set of boots there, Michael Dwayne.
Unbelievable. Who would have thought?
Yeah, so there you go. Miracles do happen. So this is 40 metres out now, 5th and last. Ballina have defended well in this. This should be sent up here by Roy Bell, and it has. That's got some serious hang time. It's going to be met there by Oliver Regan. It's just going to bounce right into the hands of Ollie Regan. And let's see how he gets out of his own half, but he's just held there 15 metres away from his own line. This will be Reece Richards now to play from dummy half. That's Chad North. And he's crunched in the tackle there, 10 metres out now from the Cougars line. Sorry, the Seagulls line. That's going to nicely taken in the tackle there by the Casino Cougars. This will be Michael Dwayne now to play from dummy half. He's plays a lot of his footy there. Sorry, that's actually Chad North. So I might have actually got that wrong there. I'm just going to make sure that is Michael Dwayne. But now, yeah, no, is it? No, it's Michael Dwayne. Oh, just that. No, I'm just making sure he still hasn't got that orange boot anywhere. I haven't had any got any players wrong. But no, he's definitely got his orange boot on.
There you go. Very important information for the viewers out there to understand what colour boots he's got on. Your favourite player.
Okay. So this is going to be Noah King. Yeah, that's into the hands of David Jackie, and he's brought down there by that's Zach Beecher. They're just inside 40 now, the Cougars. This is going to be Michael Shipp. He's now 30 out.
I'll tell you what, Dwayne, this Ballina line speed's really up and in hard here. They're humming off their line at the moment.
So this is Nick Morrissey. He's brought down the likes of Michael Dwayne, and you can see Jamie Killerline getting involved in defence. So they're just still inside the baby 20. That's Roy Bell, kicks it over the heads. Chad North's going to have to run quick to get this one. Does well, but he's still just inside. Is he? No, that's just at 10 metres. Well, it's a bit hard to see whether that's the try line or 10 metres from where we're sitting there, Crossy, but yeah, that's the 10 metre line.
It's a long way away from where we are, isn't it? So that was a great set from the Cougars. Kicked into the corner and made Ballina play at tackle 1, sort of inside their 10 metre line, as we see a penalty now for holding down in the ruck.
Yeah, so the penalty could see there by the Cougars. So Ballina, if they don't see this inside the Cougars half a field, they should have it either probably about 10 metres either end, probably more inside their own half a field, off the halfway line. So Casino, they've only held this has also gone in the books now. So Casino have only held a single-digit defence record once this year. That was when they played Morris Brothers when they won 28-4. So that's already, with Ballina now at 10 points, that's now already gone out the window. So they don't want to. For Ballina, I think even probably in today's game too, being what's on the line, you'd think, as I mentioned, they don't win unless they score at least 24 points or 22. So I'm thinking Ballina need to get that somewhere in that score total again today.
Yeah, well, they've certainly hit their early targets, haven't they, to reach that today by the end of 80 minutes. So let's see what they can come up with here as they go left.
And just to put that in stone, well, basically in concrete of what I just said then, because Casino have scored a double-digit total in every game, and only 2 of those, which one was against Ballina and one was against Coogee, was less than 20 points. So that's Reece Richards off the kick, and, well, for me, Crossy, I thought that looked a little bit too free-flowing for the Seagulls to score. They'll probably get to the way they're going, they'll probably get to that 22 points with no trouble at all. And Reece Richards just plucks that right out of thin air, thus now making the score 14-4.
Great work from Richards there. He took the catch and then he put some really nice late feet there on Denzel Dangerfield. I must admit, Dwayne, I was a little bit preoccupied. I had a look over on the far side, and I think it was Jess Perry. He did not move for some sort of 20 or 25 seconds after he was taken out. I think he played a little short ball to Coleman, and then he hasn't moved since. He's still down, receiving some attention at the moment.
So where?
So hopefully he's okay.
I can see him at the back there. So he's actually playing in he's playing in the halfback position. So there could be a bit of a. But he can't continue. There's going to be a little bit of a. Jamie Lyon's going to have to become very creative to try and figure out who he's going to have in the halves.
Well, we got Sheether here, number 3 for Seagulls, and he played plenty of half or hooker as well. So I think they'll be okay there, and I've been impressed with Sheether from what I've seen of him this year. He's still a young man playing in the local A grade and doing a really good job. So hopefully Perry will be okay, but Casino will be really disappointed with the ease in which Ballina scored that try, and they've extended their lead.
So this kick will be sent up here in due time by Ollie Regan. So that's what I was just mentioning there, Crossy. So Casino, as I was mentioning just before, as we saw Reece Richards take that try. Casino only scored double digits in every game they've played this year, and only, as I mentioned, only 2 of those were less than 20 against Ballina and Coogee. So, as I mentioned, Ballina, and I don't mean to sound a broken record, though. So Ballina or for every reason, they get to 24 points because Casino, as I said, only twice scored less than 20.
Yeah, they're going to have their work cut out for them now, aren't they? Albeit we're still only halfway through this first half. But really, what's letting them down at the moment is some of these penalties, these holding down in the ruck penalties. It's just marching Ballina forward.
And the kick goes up. They're now making the score 16-4 for the visitors over the Casino Cougars at Queen Elizabeth II Park at Casino. So, Crossy, as we're going into this one, Casino's remaining 5 out of 6 games will either be at home or in the inland. I think that the one which they would have played last week, I think it's the only time they'll see Seaside for the rest of the year. So after that game they have got Kyogle next week at New Park. So after that game, they only have to play one team that's currently outside of the top 6. So which is, well, I mean, actually, just looking on my notes there, Byron actually technically now in the top 5. So they got Byron, Morris, Evans Head, and eventually they'll play Mullumbimby. So it's not like they have the hardest run if they get undone today. But when you got the minor premiership on the line, they got to still pick up this one today.
Mate, they do. And then just thinking forward sort of 7 days from today, they play Kyogle at Kyogle in the local derby. And I know, that you and I have spoken about the fact that that's always a really, really tough game.
Really, I can just remember there when the Kyogle secretary, Rob Lyons, when I called that game we had at Kyogle and Morris, he was saying to call a rivalry is a very, was just sugarcoating it, just to put it mildly. So,
so my point there was going to be is that if they can't get the job done here today, then they face themselves in a situation next week of having to go to Kyogle, who also they've fallen in a bit of a hole.
They lost last night to Mullumbimby 22-18. So they're also trying to get it themselves out of a rut. So there's still plenty of puzzles to be put together before this round robin season is all done and dusted. So still plenty of candidates to be in play. So, and as I mentioned, with Byron Bay in 5th spot. But with that, I think I said in the call last week with you that they've probably got the hardest road out of anyone that's a candidate for that top 5 because they've still got to play the top 3 and they plus Tweed Coast and Coogin, who are also vying for a top 5 spot themselves.
Exactly, mate, exactly right. So it will be really interesting to see sort of what happens. There's plenty of sort of turns and tribulations that we may see. What we probably didn't call there, Dwayne, was just in that lead up there was some silky skills from Nicholas Ritter. He played a nice little inside ball to Coleman, and Coleman, you don't very often see it. He come up with a spill. He was thinking about chipping and chasing the fullback and scoring a try, the back rower.
So this is now 5th and last. This will be Dane Petty to have it 30 metres out from the Ballina line. They get it through in the hands. That's Roy Bell. Sends that one high. That's going to Chad North's going to claim. That's Noah King again. He's got it in the hands. Oh, flick pass back in. Oh, jeez. So close.
Oh, what about the skill?
I thought Noah, again, that 10-metre line further from us to the try line there, Crossy. That's played tricks of my eyes. So I thought that was the try line and Noah King was about to dive over it.
Take a bow, Noah King. That was really good.
I think skill. Noah King might have been confused himself, to be honest. He looked like he was diving into the corner.
Well, mate, the catch was one thing, but then to come away with that pass to find David Jackie, who then come up with a speculator himself, that was phenomenal. They deserved a try from that, the Cougars. Not to be, though, and now they really need to force an error in defence here.
So we're about just on the official clocks here, we're about within 17 minutes left of the first half here. So their Ballina still inside the 30. Jamie Lyons sends that one high. Gets that one about now 45 metres away now from the Cougars line. This will be David Jackie. He's brought down there about 30 metres away now from the Seagulls line. Brent Scott Hall to play from dummy half. He goes the short side. He's met there in the tackle there by, I think that's Kel Shiva. So they're just 40 now. This gets into the hands of, that's David Jackie. Just inside 40 on the third tackle there. This will be now taken up here by Dane Petty. Gets it into the hands. That's Bolt. That's now gone into, I think that was, I can't quite see it now. I think that was Ship. That's Petty. That's into the hands. That's Morrissey. And they're just about, I think that from where we're seeing, that's 15 metres out. And they're going to play into the hands. That's Ship on the 5th and last. That's going to now Bolt. He sends that one up. They're going those high bombs. That could be collected there by David Jackie. And that should be 6 more. This should be more points coming for the Cougars. In the corner again. So now Noah King finally finds the try line and gets himself a double. And now makes the score 16-8.
Oh, and that's just rewards for Noah King. If anyone deserves a try for the Cougars, it's that guy. And well done to him. I was just about to say that it was a really poor kick. It just went straight in the hands of Oliver Regan. But uncharacteristic mistake from Regan, and I think Jackie come up with it, and they tipped it on, and ended up in the very safe hands of Noah King, and he found himself over in the corner. That'd be a double for him this afternoon.
What just reward there by Noah King to bring that lead back, potentially back into 6 points for the Casino Cougars, just to keep themselves in touch of this game. So it's all going to, well, as we thought it might be going into this one. I mean, it's. I reckon it's certainly now going to be a much higher scoring game than what it was in round 2.
It certainly appears that way, and it just goes to show how momentum can shift so quickly at this level. Now, I touched on before that Ritter put on a nice pass there for Coleman, who come up with an error. Now, if Coleman hangs on to that, he scores, and we're sitting here saying that it's 22-4. All of a sudden, the Cougars put in a really good set. Go 100 metres, then get the ball back. They start to win a bit of field position. Jamie Lyon kicks on tackle 3 or 4. Jackie gets tackled on halfway, and then all of a sudden, They're down scoring in the corner to get it back to 16-8 with a kick to come. So we're game on here with 15 minutes to go.
So now this will be Roy Bell to line this one up. And he's just about 30 metres away.
I stopped backing Roy Bell in, you might recall, because I was putting the jinx on him. So let's say he's going to miss this, Roy.
So he's got the length and... Oh, dear, he's just missed it there. So that's now making the score. Remaining 16 points to 8 here at QE2 Park here in Casino. As you can see there on the Ladbrokes scoreboard. Crossy. So last time they two played, obviously 24-16 to Ballina on that occasion. But when you talk about head-to-head at Casino, you've got to see there that Casino since 2011 have a free 1-1 record. And I think you've got to go back to, was it 2016? When Casino won here 36-14. So they've only had one loss against Ballina since 2011. So that surely will be in the back of their minds.
That's amazing. They've only had one loss against Ballina.
Yeah,
that's phenomenal given the success that Ballina's had over those years. So could be a bit of a bogey team here, the Cougars. So 16-8, 13 to go. That would have been nice to see Bell put that over to put it within one try. But nevertheless... they just need to get to their kick here and really just keep this momentum going.
So Casino now the margin is that. Oh dear, so that's just spilled right back in the hand. So this will be now Kel Shiva. Potentially knows how to go himself from 30 metres, but he's just brought down there by Seymour own jerseys. This will be now Michael Dwayne to play from dummy half. So yeah, so it's interesting now. He's Michael Dwayne is actually, I mentioned about 10 minutes ago, he played a lot of football this year from dummy half. So I think there's been a bit of a positional change already. So this is going to be taken up by Anthony Coleman. Into the hands. Ollie Regan's got himself a double, potentially, if he's granted that. He likes it, and let's see if the referee likes it too, and he does. So a double there for Ollie Regan. It's just one of many he's had this season to bring his 12th try of the campaign at 20-8.
And the Seagulls hit straight back, and it's a shame for the Cougars. I mean, I think it was their tireless lock forward in Hayden Pratt come up with an error there to turn it over, just as we were saying that they really need to sort of get to their kick and keep this good momentum going. But he come up with the error, and then they found their terrific back rower in Anthony Coleman. He's such a strong runner of the football, and they just can't get him down out there. He just stands in tackles at will, and he offloaded to his fullback in Regan, and it was all too easy for him from there.
So Ollie Regan, he's making a late play for that end of year. Well, I know in soccer they call it golden boot, but I mean the golden try. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to try and put a name on it, but he's trying to hunt down Liam Cusack, who's at the top of the list at the moment.
Yeah, well, Cusack, we called that game Moolumbar and the Raiders a few weeks ago, and Cusack got it. He got 3, didn't he?
Yeah, so he's bagged himself here, and then you got the likes of Jack Bishop as well. Jack Bishop, of course, being last year's top leading try scorer. So Ollie Regan, as I mentioned, if you only just joined us, his first of his 12 tries didn't come till round 6, and we're in round 13 at the moment. So in 7 games, he scored himself, how many? 12? So more than one a game.
And how many has he set up as well?
And that one's just faded away. So as we approach the final 10 minutes in the first half here at QE2 Park, 20-8, Ballina Seagulls over the Cougars.
Now, Dwayne, this is a real danger period now for Casino. So the game could really, they can't win the game here, but they can certainly lose it. If they leak another try before half time against this great Ballina Seagulls team, it'll be good night for them. So they've got to make sure that worst case, they go in at 20-8, but best case, they can actually score one themselves.
And then you get, as I made mention of the stats, all the magic numbers that I've been pulling out there. So as I said, Ballina, as you just mentioned there, like, and I've said it time and time again, 24 is Ballina's magic number. They seem to get the job done. So they're only, 4 points away from that now, and there's still about 10 minutes to be decided left in the first half. So Cougars, you're right, Cougars can't really concede another try. So this is going to be Michael Dwayne gets it into the hands. Now that's into the hands. I think that's Anthony Coleman. I think that's Liam Anderson there. He had on his left there. So this, I think that's a penalty get. That's not what the Cougars needed to basically give Ballina a piggyback away from their 20-metre line. So the Seagulls will potentially have the set of 6. So let's see, this one goes about smack bang on the halfway or just over it. So Crossy, not what the Cougars needed.
Nah, and that all come. Roy Bell rushed up quickly to try to shut the play down, and they were able to get a pass away. As we see Anderson get a good offload away. But what happened from that, Dwayne, was that they generate a quick play the ball because they haven't got the numbers around the ball. So then they give a penalty away because they're trying to hang on for too long. So they're not too far off the mark at the moment, the Casino Cougars, but it's the little things that are making a big difference for them at the moment.
And oh dear, just a perfect opportunity gone back in there for the Seagulls. Just a sneaky little error to hand this one back to the Cougars. Cross results making mention that whilst Ballina is sitting high and pretty in first place with a big points differential of over 300, which the scoreline at the moment is not exactly doing much harm. It's like despite being that, they're the ones with who they've got. Well, they've got today's game, and they've got Moolumbar next week in Ballina, so who are also big candidates for that minor premiership. So Ballina, it's almost like it's Ballina's to lose from where they are, whilst Casino, they've probably got one of the easier of the draw. So even if they do want to happen to get undone there, they're probably going to rely on potentially Moolumbar getting up over Ballina to get the job done. But with that being said, at the score at 20 points away, this is not some bad momentum to take in the 7 days time.
Yeah, they really need to get going here. So 8 minutes to go, penalty on halfway, and they get forward through their good back rowing ship.
And also, when I was just running my eye through the stats, since round one of last season, the 2018 season, Ballina's only losses have come against teams from the Tweed, so the Tweed Shire.
Yeah, interesting. So obviously being the Raiders, Moolumbar,
and Coogin.
Yeah, okay. So Coogins really the only slip up they've sort of had this year, Ballina, in respect to,
and Moolumbar. So Ballina, aside of finals, they don't really do. As we can see, the potential line break there was just shy of the line. Let's see what the Cougars can do here. This will be David Jackie, the player from dummy half. And he's just met there. Well defended there by Jamie Lyon. So this will be the fifth and last now. Casino sense another try coming. Can they get one in the dying minutes of the first half? Bolt sends that one up. And there are chases for it from either end, Ollie. But I think, let's see what is called out. There's Casino's protesting a penalty. I reckon they're potentially calling penalty try.
There's definitely a case for it. Absolutely, there's a case for it.
The referee there is just going to go and consult one of his sideline assistants there. There might be more to it than what we see here, Crossy.
Yeah, obviously they don't have the benefit at NRRRL level like they have with all the cameras and the angles, etc. But from our sort of camera angle that we've got here and looking at it live, was certainly a case to be made for it.
And look, if it's not penalty try, then you know what comes next.
Yeah, well, that's
Ballina
right.
could be down to 12 men.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was Jackie that was sort of pushing through, ready for the try. Let's see what Tim Booth here awards.
He might point. I think. So he's going to bring in Jamie Lyon. And who's that there? Is that Jess Perry? No, that's Jamie Lyon.
Yeah, so it's obviously Perry that's taken out Jackie. He's given
He's
it
being
10.
10, so not a penalty try, I don't think, but they're
No.
down their halfback for all of this half and the first few minutes of the second. So Casino now will still have a perfect opportunity to get themselves back within a try.
Well, that was interesting. Before, in the lead up to that, we saw Trevor Bolt throw one dummy, two dummies, and then he threw a third dummy. It was a shame because Kel Sheether, the centre for Ballina, had actually turned in. So if he had a pass it, I think it was going to be Brent Scott Hall, he would have scored untouched, but not to be. But they've got their chance to sort of right those wrongs now.
So they're playing with inside 10 minutes. So nicely taken the tackle there in the first phase. This is now going to be taken up by Dane Petty into the hands. I think that's David Jackie, and he's brought down there by Michael Dwayne. And he senses that try line. So this is going to be Petty to play from dummy half. And nice little inside pass, and they're just trying to bang it to get it just between the sticks. So that's gone into the hands of Scott Hall. And Ballina have held well in defence. You can see there Kel Shiva taken down. So this is now going to be Scott Hall. That's into the hand. That's Bolt. I think that's that Dave Jackie down the strong plate. That's fifth and last. This would be Petty. The kick will go up now by Roy Bell. There's going to be chases once again for Noah King. Noah King has got himself a triple, and what a way to get one. Noah King just AFL leaps that and smacks it down into the turf. And we're about 5 minutes away. Now score will be 20-12 in favour of the Seagulls.
Well, I'll tell you what, if I have to put someone out there to catch a bomb if my life's resting on it, I'm sending Noah King out because he just doesn't drop them. He's been outstanding here this afternoon, and again, I mentioned it, Dwayne, after that second try. Chad North, he's sort of all at sea out there at the moment with his positional play, so he won't be too happy with that. But let's not take anything away from Noah King. He's been enormous here this afternoon.
Noah King has scored himself 3 tries in the first half. What a way to do it, to potentially get his team marching up to the top of the NRRRL ladder after round 13. So, so is it the boots that he's got on there? Those nice fluoro yellow boots? Does it give you extra leap?
They must have some gel in them or something, some bounce.
I'm hoping for the sake more of the comp that, we hope to get as many viewers as we can on the live stream, and just hope there's no AFL scouts watching him at the moment.
Yeah, I don't think he's a real tall man, is he, Noah King? I don't, he certainly doesn't stand out as being overly tall. So, geez, he's got a good leap on him, and he's got a really safe pair of hands. So, he's one of these really good young players that the Cougars have got this year. Catching up with a couple of guys before the game today, and talking to Travis Falls actually around the age of some of these young Cougars forwards. I didn't realise how young they were. So they're having a terrific season for such a young forward pack. They don't really have any of the old hard head that usually sort of comes with these casino sort of teams or teams from the bush, So they're really sort of playing a bit above their weight this year.
So I think Roy Bell's just been omitted from kicking duties. This is now Trevor Bolt. He sends that one out and he's missed it there. So let's just say if they had got like those 3, we'd be talking now 20 to 8, much closer contest. So
they can't buy a kick at the moment, can they?
So that's how makes the score 20 points to 12. The Ballina Seagulls over the Casino Cougars here at QE2 Park here at Casino. So Ballina, their last 3 out of 4, they have scored 50 points or more. Their last 7 or 8, they've scored 30 or more. They're on track to do it today, and they're probably going to need to, because Casino are just keeping within arm's length of the Seagulls today, as we're about 3 minutes away from the end of the first half.
And you can see the experience from the old bloke in the middle placing the ball on the tee. It's taking him about 25 minutes to get to this kickoff. He knows he's got his fellow half partner in the sin bin, so he's milking every second and minute that he can at the moment, Jamie Lyon.
So as I was making mention about 5 minutes ago, Crossy, as Wollumbar, that's been the opponents of the Seagulls next week. It's going to be outside of finals and of course the grand finals, because Ballina, I think to memory, have won 2 or 3 grand finals against the Mustangs. They just can't seem to get the job done against them when they're playing in the regular season. So, for me, this game and next week, I reckon, is potentially going to decide who comes first. So
here's a way here.
So this is Rodney Collins. That's Noah King. Could he get a 4th? He's kicked that one, and it's going to should find Ollie Regan. It's going to have too much depth anyway. Oh, Crossy, I thought he could have made more pace than any of the greyhounds around this track. I thought for all money he was going in the corner and potentially getting it within a try with 3 minutes to go.
Well, he must have been running out of room, because he seemed to kick early, didn't he? What I was expecting was him to sort of skirt down that sideline and come to the fullback and draw and pass, and we see the Cougars, get back within sort of 4 points. But not to be. He must have run out of room and had to kick early, and still, that's still a pretty good result there for the Cougars after points.
Yeah, I've been trying to get that stat out for some time, but there's always something happens. So yeah, Ballina always don't seem to. There's a big push in the scrum. So yeah, trying to get that stat out. Like Wollumbar seem to have the edge over Ballina in the regular season, so that's going to make it interesting if Ballina do happen to get the win here today. So as we get back now to live action there, this will be on the 3rd tackle. This is going to be played here from that was Zach Beecher getting brought down there just on the 35 away from the Ballina Seagulls line. Nicely taking the tackle there by Fair Hip. Sorry, that was Hayden Pratt. And they're playing on the short side. This is Jamie Lyon. Cut out pass. That's Reece Riches. He's barraged there in the tackle by, I think that there was Theo Hip. The kick goes up now by Jamie Lyon. And that's just bounced. It's going to float just away towards the sideline, but this should be the last set of 6 of the first half. This will be David Jackie to play from dummy half. This is Bolt. Goes for a gallop. He's had the likes of Anthony Coleman to beat. He's got Liam Anderson to beat. This is now Rodney Collins. Here we go. Let's see how Noah King can do. He's got the pace though. Noah King. Oh, jeez. This time, I think a forward pass now has eluded him.
Oh, Forward pass.
Jeez.
I mean, Tim Booth's right on the spot, very experienced referee, but from where I'm sitting, mate, it didn't look too bad. So the Cougars, they've probably really missed an opportunity there.
Well, it had to be because, he obviously had the ball in here. I didn't see him signal forward pass, but I think, there we go. I think, forward pass. So, but I think, that's not going to see out this scrum. The Hooter will go in a matter of a couple of seconds. And that is all she wrote. Tim Booth has now called time on the first half here in the potential top of the ladder clash. What were your thoughts in the first half there, Crosby?
Oh, look, I thought obviously Ballina jumped out of the blocks early, didn't they? And some of those tries were a bit too easy. But when Casino got their even share of the ball and they started to play a little bit of football, they can show that there is still a big chance here this afternoon. And even in that last play, I had a look at Trevor Bolt, and he sort of took it one off the ruck there on this sort of near side of the field. And he realised the space is on the other edge because that's where they're missing Jess Perry. So he skipped across, and that's what created the number there. So expect them in this first 5 minutes, Dwayne, of this second half to really start testing the Ballina Seagulls defence down their left-hand side.
So I trust you enjoyed the coverage of the first half here at QE2 Park and Casino. It is halftime in the Ladbrokes scoreboard there. 20 points for the Ballina Seagulls over the Casino Cougars 12. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in about 10 minutes for the second half of action. Dwayne Neville and Nathan Cross coming to you back live from QE2 Parking Casino for round 13 of NRRRL action. As you can see there on the Ladbrokes scoreboard, the Casino RSM Cougars just behind at the moment at 20 points to 12 in favour of the Ballina Seagulls. So Ballina coming off the back of a Big 10 try to 1 win over Cougars last week. Now probably wanting to get some more of that attacking prowess to finally put this one away and then focus on the Moolumbar Mustangs in 7 days' time. Crossy, what do the Ballina Seagulls need to do to make that actually happen?
Mate, the Seagulls have just got to keep doing what they've been doing in the first half, but also all year, and just probably get a couple of those little uncharacteristic errors out of their game, and then they'll be they should go on and win here this afternoon if they do that. However, stranger things have happened. We are a casino, and they've got a good sort of home crowd here today supporting them, and they finished that second half strongly. And remembering that we do still have Jess Perry in the sin bin, probably for another few minutes. So the Cougars will be looking to really capitalise on that in this first part of the first half, and really that their real focus would have been completing their early sets, but also trying to be the first to score and really to bridge that gap and make it a 2-point ball game. So, mate, really looking forward to this second half.
So this will be now Jamie Lyon to get us restarted here. They're running right to left on your screen. So now this will be the Casino Cougars. So the sun basically behind Ballina's back there. So I'll be thinking as we get underway here, as I said, Ballina running right to left on your screen. So the Cougars will want a big first set of 6 to start this one. So I'm thinking now, just so I was about to say there, Crossy. So Casino now, I'm not going to like the fact they've got the sun in the face now. So you reckon you'll be looking at the likes of Jamie Lyon to be putting up some long kicks across field to throw the Cougars off?
Yeah, I think so. And I think we saw that the template set in the first half from Roy Bell initially, and then Trevor Bolt with that kick into Chad North corner. I probably sounded a bit critical of Chad North, but he's got that sun in his eyes. So really difficult take. So, yeah, expect to see sort of Ballina try to return serve there.
So the Cougars now, they're about 30 metres out now from their own line. This will be set up there by Roy Bell. And, I think that one's actually just got caught out on the full there. So not the start for the Cougars that they needed. Maybe potentially the sun has been in their face when they went for the kick. So they've just gifted Ballina a potential piggyback at 30 metres out from... Oh, what the hell happened there? I think Michael Duaty, we've already had enough to throw us off today, Crossy. We didn't need that.
I think there was just some gamesmanship there. They're probably under 23s teammates, but that was Hayden Pratt.
Yeah, that's true. Michael Dwayne and Hayden Pratt under 23, so they're having a little bit of a joke. But, I mean, it is serious business out there. What's potentially a top spot on the line in the NRRRL. This is going to be taken up there on the third tackle. Nice legs tackle there from the Cougars. They'll play short side. Into the hands, that's Lyon. Brings it back into the hands of, that's Zach Beecher. So close to the line there, Zach Beecher. This will be Mark Dwayne. Gets it into the hands of into Lyon. And I always reminisce. That's Lyon again. Lyon's potentially going to go himself in the corner, and he's just brought down just shy. So this is now Kel Shiva from dummy half. Oh, he kind of hesitated a bit there from Kel Shiva, but he was wanting to pass it, but I didn't think he had the personnel on his right side. Brought down there, fifth and last there, Crossy.
Yeah, he went close there, Shiva, didn't he? It was a great line from Jack Durham. He sort of dented that line and got a good offload back to his skipper and Jamie Lyon. And then we saw Shiva running on the last and put a little grubber in, which is a pretty good result for Ballina, because Casino will be really disappointed with their first set and the kick from Roy Bell at the end that went out on the full. So let's see if the Cougars can get back on track here and really start to get back in this game.
Nicely taken there. So, Crossy, one name that I haven't mentioned, and he was actually out a couple of weeks ago, Denzel Dangerfield. I don't think I've seen him have much ball today, and Casino now got to get it done from 8 behind. They need to get his hands on the Steeden.
They do. It's gone the other way to Young King, hasn't it? And but we need to see Dangerfield.
For good reason, of course.
For very good reason. But we see Jackie do a lot of work through the middle.
That's Isaac Cooper there. He's just going to be brought down just inside 40. Yeah, sorry there, Crossy.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Dangerfield wants to come in the field and start looking for that football, although they've kicked to his wing this time.
Yeah, that's Dangerfield. He's chasing for it. He normally knows how to get it off a kick, but he's going to be getting involved in defence there with Brent Scott Hall about 30 metres out from the Seagulls line. This will be now Jamie Lyon to play from dummy half.
And we've got Perry coming back now, Dwayne.
This is Reece Riches. So the Ballina are back to have it now 13 on 13. So Reece Riches just smashing the tackle on the second phase of play. This will be now played into the hands. That's of Zach Beecher. And he's brought down there by, I think that's Brent Scott Hall. And then and that's another penalty conceded there by the Cougars. They've sort of had that habit all day there for me, Crosby.
It's a shame. I think it was Brent Scott Hall. He had a bit of a swinging arm over the top of young Sheether, and it just wasn't warranted. This is what I was talking about. These little errors or these little piggyback penalties are really letting the Seagulls off the hook and making it really easy for them to get out of their own end. So here we go. Ballina will have a tap on halfway.
So out of 8 of their 10 of their games, Casino have been within 8 points of less. Not necessarily saying they've won all those games, but they know they get involved in many close contests. This will be now Zach Beecher. Gets it in. That's into the hands of, I think that's Andrew Brasek. And this will be now Beecher to play it into the hands of, that's Phil Crosby. That's back into the hands now of Michael Dwayne. Michael, he's looking, he beats, almost beats 3 players. Couldn't quite do on this occasion. Now gets it in. That's Beecher. I just thought that just missed the grip there of Beecher, but he's brought into the hands of Philip Crosby. And they've got a choice of either end here. They're going to go left into the hands of Jess Perry. That's gone into Liam Anderson. Thought about the pass to Chad North, but thought twice of it. This is 5th and last now. This will now be Zach Beecher from dummy half. Goes to short side. That's gone in the hands of Anthony Coleman. And he just wasn't quick enough. He's going to be held there. About 3 or 4 metres away now from the Cougars line.
Another good result for the Seagulls. They the previous set, they got tackled over in the far right-hand corner through Sheether. That time it was Coleman, went to short side, took the chances to it, and not a bad result, as we see in the error.
They're calling for an infringement there, or they're calling for a potential penalty at the Cougars. I don't think they're going to get it. So that's the 3rd straight set of 6 in this half where they've basically gift-wrapped it for the Seagulls there, Crossy. Can't do that.
Oh, mate, the Cougars' attention to detail after half-time has been really poor, and I know their senior players and their captain coach here, Roy Bell, will be really disappointed with that. So they've got to be on red alert here. They've got to keep the Seagulls out from crossing the try line. Otherwise, I think that'll be the game here this afternoon.
So Jets Perry plays it in the scrum feed into the hands of Michael Dwayne. That's Chad North playing from centre of field, and he's crunched in there by David Jackie. Ballina so close to line to really extend this one out further. Short side play into the hands. That's Ollie Regan. He's looking for a hat trick for himself. This will be now Zach Beecher to play from dummy half. This is Dwayne. Michael Dwayne, he's no shy stranger to the try line himself. He was the top try scorer in the under-23s country competition last year, who went on to win the title with the Northern Rivers Titans. That's into the hands of Anthony Coleman. He's rep captain from last year, but he's just spilt that one and handed that back one over to the Cougars.
Oh, another error from Coleman. That's very out of character for him here this afternoon.
So that's Morrissey there on the second tackle. He's now about 20 metres away now from the Cougars line. He's going to be brought down there by, I think that's Zach Beecher, as well as Crosby. Short side play here for the Cougars. That was Noah King, and that's now 4 in a row now for the Cougars, where they couldn't make their set of 6.
Well, Chad North, I could see Chad North. He really came up and in hard off his line there. He thought, you know what, I've had enough of this Noah King guy. He scored 3 tries on me here this afternoon. I'm going to get up in his face, and he actually did. He applied really good pressure, and King come up with an error. So no sooner, Dwayne, had we said their attention to detail has been poor, and there's a 4th straight error.
Now, Crossy, you think if Cinderella, bringing out a bit of Disney here, Cinderella wear the red slippers, or no, was it the glass slippers? No, I'm thinking of Wizard of Oz.
No, you've lost me.
Yeah, no, no, okay. So what would you call Noah Kings with those bright yellow boots? I know we see him on a few players, but they've worked well for him today thus far.
They're bright, aren't they? They're like the jet boots, aren't they? They make him go quick, but he. I said in the first half he's got really safe pair of hands. He didn't on that occasion, but he's had a really good day here thus far.
Yeah. I hope my little sister's not watching. She'll shoot me for misquoting Disney. Okay, so there's going to be now going through into the hands. That's Jess Perry. He's brought down there by Isaac Cooper. So a couple more up their sleeve for the Seagulls. This is Jamie Lyon, brings it back inside field. And, I think they might have just got that one over the stripe. And let's see what Tim Booth calls out of this one. And there it is, 24 points to 12. Ballina have made Casino pay for their 4 straight sets of 6 they couldn't complete. And it's just, in this case, proved costly. Crosby?
Yeah, and you could see Roy Bell in the end goal. He's really angry with his team there. They just didn't. They clocked off on the inside, and And when you, as a defensive unit, if you clock off from the inside, that's purely one thing, and that's attitude and lack thereof. So he'd be really disappointed with that, Roy, and for the rest of the Casino team. But it was nice skill. It was the class of Jamie Lyon. He went to the line, turned it inside to his big front rower, Nicholas Ritter. He's often the one actually providing those passes rather than being on the end of them. And on that occasion, mate, he found himself with the footy and was good enough to get his way over the line, and they extend their lead.
So as Ollie Regan now lines up to take the kick, and so it's 24-12, should extend this pass to a 2-try lead. Let's put another analogy, one that you might actually understand there. Seinfeld.
I'll certainly understand this.
Yeah, okay, so do you remember the episode where George Costanza has those boots with Jimmy where he tries to leap and then all of a sudden he thinks it gives you extra height?
Sure do.
So, okay, so what if we find Noah King at full time and trying to get him in touch with George Costanza? And maybe he can redo that episode of Seinfeld and then he won't look as foolish as he does as it goes there. 26-12 now for the Seagulls.
I'd love nothing more than to reenact that with Noah King.
Jimmy down!
Jimmy can jump.
Noah King can jump, I can guarantee you that.
Can't he ever? Now, they're certainly a bright pair of boots, aren't they? I wonder what brand they are, Noah King. He's got a good hairdo as well, Noah King.
Yeah, he's got the locks. I think I saw something like that I was watching a bit of the European heavy metal live stream, festival called With Full Force, and I think one of the guitarists for a band called Arch Enemy had similar locks to that. So I wonder if he's into his heavy metal. I could probably have a good conversation with him.
I reckon he's I see him as a bit of a hip hop rapper. Look at him. He's got the bright shoes. He's got the frizzy hair. I don't know. What's that guy? I'll come back to that.
If we were to get the interviews happening, we could probably ask him that one day soon. Oh, big crunching tackle there by that was Jack Durheim getting brought down the tackle. This is now going into Nicholas Ritter, and he was opting to go the short side, and he's just brought down there just outside of the Casino Cougars 40-metre line. This is now going to be Andrew Brasek. Big monster of a run there by Brasek. Manages offload in the hands of Zach Beecher, but he's not going to get much out of it. It's going to be a scrum feed now for the Cougars, about 35 out from their own line.
And I don't know if you realised, Ryan, but that came from a Casino penalty that they gave away, hence why Ballina were in possession there. So I don't know what's happening at half-time with the Cougars. They didn't come out with any real sort of intent. Their attention to detail, as I mentioned before, has been really poor. A couple of uncharacteristic mistakes. So they need to draw a line in the sand right now and sort of flush what's happening in these first 11 minutes and say, okay, we've got 29 minutes to go here. Let's get back on track. We're only realistically, we've got to score 3 tries, which is we can certainly do in the time frame we've got.
Ballina have not lost when they scored 24 points or more this season, and now have that mark at 26. So Casino now have got some work to do to potentially get themselves back in contention for the top of the table. And what would this set up to be if Ballina were to get the job done against Moolumbar Mustangs, who have had many big battles in the finals in seasons gone past? So, and for me, whilst in all fairness, there's another 5 rounds to go after this one. I'd say, with all due respect to the rest of the teams in the comp, I think that will decide the minor premiership for me.
Definitely, and I'd be really keen to see those two play, Ballina and the Mustangs. Yeah, because, mate, they're the 2 teams out of everyone that give you the least. We call that Moolumbar and Tweed Coast game, and they we were sort of saying how Tweed Coast in the first half really weren't that bad. Yeah. It was just that the Mustangs just give you nothing, and they defend their line, and generally in defence they're very, very polished as well.
There's that $1 million question, Crossy, as we can see another penalty conceded from the Casino Cougars. And of course, with all due respect, if results do go how they're panning out at this moment, $1 million question, as I said earlier, Moolumbar are on a bye, and Ballina are playing one of the top 3 at the moment. So how would you want to what best preparation would you have? Would you rather the week off, or would you rather be playing the big foot? I mean, it worked for Tweed Coast in last year's final. They came off the win while Ballina had the week off. So how would you pan on that?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it really depends on the health of your squad. And this time of year, most players are carrying some sort of niggles, some worse than others. So I would probably Yeah.
And as I mentioned to you earlier, like Ballina have had 13 players who have played either every game or I think there's only 8 maybe. So that's gone in the heads of Perry. Goes himself. He's just outside the 10. This is Michael Dwayne to play from dummy half. Into the hands of Coleman. Goes himself. He's crunched down a one-on-one. Back into the hands. That's it. I think that was Michael Dwayne. As I mentioned earlier, he's not too shy of the try line. And he's got himself on the score sheet today at 30 points to 12.
Oh, well, Perry cut him up, and he did the right thing. He, rather than try to push a pass or kick, he took the tackle, and they found Coleman on a short side. Coleman looked like he was going to try to throw a big cutout pass to the winger, and he thought better of it. He put his bumpers up and created a bit of a space between him and the defender, and was good enough to get that great offload away from Michael Dwayne. And your favourite player, Michael Dwayne, he found himself over on this left-hand side of the field, and that puts them out to 30 to 12. And unfortunately for the Cougars fans here, Dwayne, I think that could be game done.
Yeah, so you can hear a pin drop here at QE2 Park and Casino. So Michael Dwayne, I think that's now his 6th try of this year's campaign. Scored himself a double against Morris Brothers. Got on the score sheet against Tweed Coast, Kyle and Coogin. He's a free-time under 23s rep. He, as I made mention last year, he was the leading try scorer of the under 23s competition in the country competition. Scored 3 in the final against Monaro Colts.
Well, I think, I'm just thinking sort of head-to-head here, Casino versus Ballina. I come here with really high hopes for the Cougars today, and you and I actually said off camera that I think you said you thought the Cougars might get up in an upset here today.
But yeah, I actually thought the vibe going into it, I thought, well, Ballina had some big wins, but I just thought Casino just had, because I thought this would potentially be a close game, and then if it came to a close game, then you'd favour Casino just for the fact that most of their wins come out of 8 out of 10. So as the kick goes over, that's now making the score 32 to 12. Seagulls over the Cougars. Yeah, sorry, Crossy.
Yeah, and mate, I was thinking along the same lines. It was going to be a really close game of footy, but they've really let themselves down in this second half.
I know what the real reason is, and you're not going to like it. You're sitting here next to me because the fact that, every time we have a potential close game, it's a one-sided contest.
I'm yet to call a game that I think the lowest margin was 8.
That was at round 2. So, because, Moolumbar Tweed Coast, that was supposed to be close too. And then, nevertheless, we get back to live action. So 20 points now with 25 to play. You think Casino would have to pull a Cougars Turkey round 4 effort if we're going to see this one get overturned. As I was mentioning, which potentially sets up a potential minor premiership battle with still about 5 rounds to play. That's going to be an interesting one to see how that one pans out. So, and as I made mention, I mentioned you off camera that Ballina with 13 players, I think all but about 4 of them have played every game this year. And I don't think there's been any injuries thus far. And this is going to be now Raymond Buchanan. He's brought down there by Brent Scott Hall as well as the likes of Denzel Dangerfield. Yeah, he's been very quiet, Denzel Dangerfield. And they really needed to get him more involved. And you can just see that he's got Jamie Lyon on the left. And, Jamie couldn't quite get his hand on it.
Well, Jackie went for the intercept, and he come up with a try-saving play there, David Jackie. He needed to do it. Otherwise, Jamie Killer-Lyon was going to be under the post for another 6 points. But the Cougars, they've absolutely clocked off now. Like, there's been absolutely no response to some sort of adversity. There's no... They're probably feeling like there's no reward for effort at the moment, but you've got to earn that. And at the moment, to me, they look like they've put the cue on the rack.
And I think that's probably got a lot to do with the fact that coming into the second half, I mean, they scored like in the later portion of that first half, and they got it within 8 points. I mean, yeah, fair enough. They're not in front, but they kept in arm's reach. So now Ballina are back with it. They could really put a damaging effect on this one. They just 4 consecutive sets of 6 they couldn't complete. So I think that's just knocked the morale out for the Cougars here on their home patch there, Crossy.
Yeah, and they can't afford to leak one here because this will be really ugly if Ballina score again here.
So this is Jack Durheim. He's going to be brought down there by the likes of Josh Beach and Nick Morrissey. So they're about 6 or 7 away now from the line. That's brought down there by Andrew Brysack. So this is now... who's going to play now? I thought Michael Dwayne was keen to play from dummy half. It's going to be now Zach Beecher. Gets into the hands of Jess Perry. Now that's Anthony Coleman. And he's going to be brought down there by Isaac Cooper and David Jackie. Just happened to bring him down. Tim Booth there. He singles 5th and last. This will be now This will be now Beecher. And, what's happened here? I think it's...
Oh, a little knock on.
Yeah, just a little hint of a knock on. So the Casino Cougars just off the hook there on this occasion. But nevertheless, they're going to have to run into that with their faces smack bang into the sun to have any chance of making anything of this game. Now we're about 22 minutes left, 32-12. You just joined us in favour of the Seagulls. As you can see there on the Ladbrokes scoreboard, it's just been one of those effects. Ballina know how to score points and Casino know how to defend them, and only one of those has happened today.
I'm just thinking, Dwayne, I'll go back to just that play just before half time where Trevor Bolt skipped across field and they made inroads down that far side where Jess Perry was, as we see, a penalty. But as Jess Perry was in the sin bin, now you will recall that referee Tim Booth called a forward pass. The Cougars would have scored from that. Now, Booth was on the spot, so it was obviously the right call. But if the Cougars score there, this could have been a much different game.
Absolutely.
It's interesting in games like this. It's key moments that can change the course of the game.
And they're 3 missed conversions too. That, as I said, I think it was 20 points to 12. They kick 3 of those, they'd be within 2 points. So they've definitely were right in the contest. And Ballina, as they showed time and time again, this sort of reminds me of, we can see a one-on-one strip there by Michael Dwayne. Well played by Michael Dwayne to get that on the one-on-one strip. So it's just Cougars, for one reason or another, just not finishing their set of 6. Crossy, this sort of reminds me of a lot, and you were there too, that big game against Byron Bay, what was it, about now, a month ago, and Byron were actually in front, scored the first try, and then it was just tit for tat until the last 20 minutes, and then Ballina in the last 20 minutes just went into 5th gear and just strangled Byron out of the game. This is sort of what's the same vibe as this one today. Yeah,
exactly, and I've seen another penalty, and I was just about to say that as much as Ballina's been good, Casino have been horrendous this second half. Like I can't put it any other way. They've been awful. They just haven't come out after half time. I can see Roy Bell's quite frustrated. He's feeling like that Tim Booth's sort of blowing the pee out of the whistle there, but they've got to be better than that, Casino.
So this is now Anthony Coleman gets into there. That's it, Liam Anderson, and wouldn't he like to be on the try shed today? This is Chad North, the player from dummy half. He's had to run away there from Harry Dawson. When you look at the size of him, for good reason, he's a big fella. And gets it in through the hands. That's Jamie Lyon. He's getting those fires pumping towards it. The corner gets it in. That's Buchanan. And he's going to be just shy of the line, about maybe 2 metres out. And then that will go into the hands of Lyon. That's going into the hands of Matthew Crowhurst. And I think they've just slipped that one forward. The Cougars, once again, off the hook. Scrum feedback and now 10 metres away from their own line.
I hope for the Cougars' sake that this is a bit of a watershed moment in their season, this second half. So when they get together on Tuesday night or whenever it is, they can look back on this second half and go, it's clear how they lost their way, but not just from a performance point of view, but also from an attitude point of view as well. And just go, you know what, boys, if we're serious about doing really good things this year and playing semi-finals, which they will do, but if they're really serious about making a mark and finishing top 3 and giving this a real crack, they've got to learn from this afternoon and more in their response to adversity and just be better than what they've been this second half.
So Casino now play 10 metres away now from their own line. So we're just in the final quarter of this one here at QE2 Park. Nice run to get it onto the 30. And yeah, you could probably, I can just hear over the cans there, the crowd are really blowing up. They're calling for offside. They're not going to get it on this occasion, so they're playing on the short side. And he had the likes of Noah King on his right side. He gets back into the hands of Petty. And nice tackle there by Matt Crowhurst. A late addition into this Seagulls team from when the team showed up on Wednesday. They're finally going to get gifted the penalty and to the applaud of the crowd there. So they're still pretty vocal. We can still hear them where we are there, Crosby.
Yeah, and I can see they're frustrated. You can hear that the crowd's frustrated, but they've got to take some ownership as well. I mean, they've been really poor with their errors, with actually giving warranted penalties away. So, they probably feel like they're not getting the 50-50 calls, but you've got to earn those as well, Dwayne. So,
and you can just see there one of the trainers there for the Ballina Seagulls just copped an absolute falcon.
And that is none other than the great Spike Coleman, Steve Coleman, the father of Anthony Coleman. Having a chat to Spike before the game, and we didn't talk about him getting in the head with the football, but
that's something you can talk about on the ride back to Ballina.
Spike will be watching this later, and I don't know if it was on camera.
So this is Roy Bell, nice little inside pass. He
just can't quite get that away for the line break. This is Roy Bell to play from dummy half. Let's see what the Cougars can do. Just shy of the line. He's over the line, but he's just going to be held up. So they'll have a restart here about 5 metres away now from...
It'll be 10 metres
10
out.
metres out.
But already I'm seeing a bit of a shift in their attitude, a bit more positivity. The blokes sort of starting to rally the troops. So this is good signs here for Casino.
So this will be now played by Michael Shipp. You'll have Dane Petty to play it into the hands of Roy Bell. And just a sun in the face there for the Cougars. So this will be Dane Petty to play it now from dummy half. He'll play the short side into Bowl. He kicks it across the carpet. It's going to have too much. But Ollie Regan, okay. I don't know if Ollie Regan had to play at that, but nevertheless, it's being at 32-12. You'd think you can just play it safe.
Yeah, just err on the side of caution there, which he did. And I think they're that confident in their own line defence here, the Seagulls, that they'll be happy enough to toss up another set of 6.
Hey, at least it wasn't like Darius Boyd last night's game against Newcastle when all he had to do was let it out. The Broncos scored a try. Darius Boyd, all he had to do was let it out. Instead, he couldn't help himself and grabbed it and then stayed in, went over the dead ball line. So, nevertheless, as we get back into it, does well to get 60 metres off the kick. Big hard run here by Harry Dawson. Barrages in on the first tackle. This is going to be Dane Petty to play it from dummy half. That's Noah King there playing it away from his wing position. This is Petty. That's going in the hands of Shipp. And he's brought down there just about 10 metres away. This is some good yardage here from Casino. They probably would have liked this a bit earlier. This is Petty on the fourth phase of play. Gets it in. That's into the hands of Scott Hall. Bowl kicks that into the corner. Reece Richards does well to catch it, but that was going to be held there inside his own dead ball area. Another set of 6 beckoning now for the Cougars.
Yeah, good play from the Cougars. I actually thought they might have been in front of the kicker there, but they were probably due to get a 50-50 call. So another good set of 6. That's the second repeat set in a row. So won't be enough to win here this afternoon, but at least this gets them back on track from a performance point of view.
So we're just inside 15 minutes left here at Queen Elizabeth II Park here in Casino. 32-12 in favour of Ballina Seagulls over Casino Cougars. Courtesy of Ladbrokes. Head over to ladbrokes.com.au for all your betting information, or download the app on your smartphone or tablets today. Gamble responsibly. There's another big hit there by Harry Dawson on the first phase of play. Dane Petty gets it in the hands of Roy Bell. That's going to be David Jackie. He's also no stranger for the try line himself. He does well to get within inside 20. So this is Petty playing short side into the hands of Bolt. Little fake pass there by Bolt. Keen on the corner, but he's going to be brought down there by Raymond Buchanan. I think that's shit. Skips away. They're about just 3 or 4 metres away from the try line. Could Casino potentially get a consolation try? In all fairness, it's probably what they're banking on. That's going to be Shipp. He's brought down there 10 metres away from the Ballina Seagulls line. Fifth and last. This will play short side play. Roy Bell, little dummy pass, kicks across the carpet, and this time Ballina managed to play with distance, and they'll have a 20-metre restart.
Oh, good play there from Chad North. That's been a good contest between him and Noah King on this edge. He just let it go that time. He didn't need to play the ball, and 7 tackle set coming up now for Ballina.
So this will be now a 20-metre restart. Line gets it into the hands of Nicholas Ritter. Back into the hands of Jamie Lyon. He'll go himself and gets it over the 40-metre line. So it's still inside their own half. This is Michael Dwayne. Goes, beats one, almost beats a fourth, but he's just going to be brought down there 40 metres away from the Cougars line. This is going to be Jack Durheim, short side into the line, into Regan. He really would like a hat-trick today, Regan, but he gets it in the hands of Chad North, and he does well to get about 15 metres on the fly there, Chad North. This will be Michael Dwayne to play from dummy half. And gets it into the hands. That's what's going into Nicholas Ritter. That's into Jess Perry. And they're about 10 metres away. And it's been the story of the Cougars game. They could set another penalty. Tim Booth's going to be now having words with the captain for the Cougars. And they might even be lucky now they even had 13 men with the way. Because I think they've conceded quite a number in this half there, Crossy.
Yeah, they have. It's and I said before how frustrated that Bell was getting. They feel like they're just not getting any of those 50-50 calls. So I'm not sure what that one was for, but put it down as yet another penalty against the Cougars. And interesting to see what Ballina do here, whether they just want to sort of take the 2 and just wind the clock, or whether they're hungry for more points.
Well, as far as their for and against go, I mean, they don't I think that's well and truly intact. But unfortunately, unless, of course, if they somehow have a draw with Moolumbar, that's all it's going to be counted for. The points they really would want is the 2 points against Moolumbar next week, because that's, as I said, that's potentially going to decide the minor premiership.
Yeah, that's a big one next week, isn't it? So they want to get through the rest of this. What do we got? 13 minutes to go, injury-free, and really build and leverage off this win here today.
So this will be now Jess Perry to play at 10 metres away from the Cougars line. This will be Philip Crosby. And he's just held there on that 10 metres. This will be Michael Dwayne to play from the second phase of play. Then that's brought down there by Jack Durheim. And then Ballina going on the short side, that's into Matt Crowhurst. And now that's surely, I think for me, was a strip. But I think it's going to be called play on. So no, it's...
Yeah, that should be a dropout.
Yeah, so it's going to be a dropout. So it might have just been lost backwards there, because I thought there was some casino hands like all over that. But nevertheless, it'll be now line dropout to the Casino Cougars.
Yeah, I think he just ruled that the one-on-one, he's raked it out, went backwards, and it was fair play until then. Ball was in play, and line dropout. So here we go. Will Roy Bell look to kick short or do something here?
So 12 minutes left to go here at QET Park for round 13 event Triple RL action. Ballina Seagulls are sitting pretty at the moment, 32-12. So this is going to be, that's Jack Durheim, about 30 metres out. This is Michael Dwayne, gets it into, I think I can just see there, that's Nicholas Ritter. Back into the hands of his front row partner. That's Philip Crosby. This will be played now by Michael Dwayne. And that goes into, that's, I think that, nicely taken there by Josh Beach. And they're about 15 away from the line. Casino have done well to defend thus far in the last 15 minutes or so, but this will be Jamie Lyon. And that's on the fourth tackle. This will be Michael Dwayne. That's gone into the hands of Jess Perry. That's into Coleman. Coleman's got Liam Anderson, numbers on the left. And there it is, Chad North. He'll now get himself back on the score sheet. And he had all the room to play with to make it happen. And just inflicting more wounds for the Casino Cougars. Thus now making the score 36-12.
Oh, what a ball from Coleman. That was outstanding. He showed his class there, didn't he? He sort of had players all around him. But, the player that he is, he got that beautiful offload away. And Chad North, mate, was it?
Yeah, Chad North.
He pegs one back on his wing opponent there, Noah King. So that's good night nurse for the Cougars here this afternoon. Disappointing way to sort of finish this game. We've still got 10 minutes to go. And Ballina, they might not be done just yet.
Could this be like their fourth game in a row? I can't believe I'm going to say this. Could you reckon this would be their fourth game in a row where they've chalked up 50?
Yeah, well, if you're a betting man, if we've got our Ladbrokes account sort of ready, and I'll be tipping that, they may well do if Casino. I mean, Casino.
You can just see in the background there, they're kind of just now sitting on the ground. They don't look like there's any urgency on their part.
No, hopefully, it's just. Yeah, they're just disappointed rather than sort of injured or whatever. So, never a great sign when you sort of your team is sort of spread out wide in the end goal rather than in a huddle. It sort of shows real signs of frustration there. So the Cougars need to hang tight here. They can't win here today, obviously, but they've really got to finish off strong and get set for next week.
And it's been the usual suspects for Ballina once again. As I made mention, that you've got Reece Richards, Chad North scoring a couple as Ollie Regan kicks that one over. Of course, Ollie Regan scoring himself and got that impressive tally, and Chad North also added himself to that list with a lot. So he was one of the try scorers in the return match against Casino in round 2. Scored against Morris Brothers Northern United. He scored 2 against Coogin, 1 against Evans Head, and a double against Kyle last weekend. So I think the kick there was unsuccessful. So thus still remains 36-12. So Ballina will have to score 3 times, see if they want to chalk up that half century once again. In all fairness, it's probably not. We can see there in the clock on the far left there. Might elude them, but we'll see. But that's not going to help matters for the Cougars. They've just failed to get 10 metres off the kick.
Well, yeah, they've been called off in front of the kicker.
Or front of the kicker.
From the kickoff. Again, that's just another little area of attention to detail. So they'll just be, the Casino Cougars, they'll just be thinking about having a shower and going home and watching The Voice tonight, Dwayne, on Channel 9, potentially.
Not my cup of tea. I think I'll stick to watching replays at the European Metal Festival overnight. Parkway Drive put on quite a good set yesterday morning. I found my how to get off coffee. Just put on Parkway Drive at 7:30 in the morning. You'll be sweet.
You did tell me that. So you don't like The Voice?
As I said, mate, I'd rather watch Sick of It All, Arch Enemy, and I think who else played overnight in Germany? It was a band called Terror. I saw them play in January, and I mean, you won't need coffee ever again after you listen to them at any point. But anyway,
What about Jack Vidgen on The Voice? One of the greats.
that's your cup, mate.
Mate, my kids love The Voice. I'll only tune in between doing the chores.
You will not hear it if you ride shotgun with me in the car. You will not hear anything from The Voice on my playlist. I can guarantee you, unless Parkway Drive somehow got on there or Metallica, or Alexis on Fire. I doubt that's going to happen. Anyway, we're back to the serious stuff here. So that's what is it? Fourth or fifth play now. This will be Michael Dwayne on the short side. Ollie Regan kicks that one across, and he might even get something. Oh, that was taken away there from Denzel Dangerfield. So line ball drop out now for the Casino Cougars.
He kicked it there, Regan. I thought he should have used his outside man there. I thought he created a 3-on-2, but anyway, when you're leading 36-12, it doesn't really matter too much. But they're still full of running, aren't they, the Seagulls? And yeah, I just cast my mind forward now to sort of next week and what's the offering against the Ballina Seagulls versus Moolumbar Mustangs. That will be a ripper, and as you said, Dwayne, that could well decide who takes out this minor premiership this year.
So short kick off there by the Cougars. So the sun's just covered over the scoreboard, so we're having a hard time. So there can't really be a whole lot of more time left. Probably talking about maybe 5-6 minutes tops. So this will be Crosby. He's brought down there just on the 10-metre line. This is Michael Dwayne. Gets it into the hands of Moody, Andrew Moody. So he must just come onto the field. This is now Perry. Goes himself, but he's going to be met in defence there by Michael Shipp. And so this will be now the fourth tackle. This is now going to be Michael Dwayne into the hands of Ritter. Ritter goes himself, but he's going to be met there by Nick Morrissey. He manages to offload that back into Michael Dwayne. He'll go for a gallop, and he's brought down there by Josh Beach. And they're about 2 metres away from the try line. And that's Jess Perry, who was keen on that. But I think he made up. Oh, he was a bit too keen there. He's just brought down there heavy, a couple of metres away from the Cougars line.
Yeah, well, good scrambling there from the Cougars. They could have easily leaked another one there. Perry caught him off guard in the first half, and they were good enough to sort of defend their line there and hold them out on that occasion in this second half. So, well done to the Cougars. I'm really looking for a positive response from them here in this final 5 minutes.
So this will be now Brent Scott Hall, about 25 metres away from the Cougars line. And Seagulls have conceded a penalty, a little bit of argy-bargy, but Jamie Lyon will think bigger of it and just tell Raymond Buchanan to fall back in the line.
Yeah, Killer wouldn't be too interested in getting involved in any scuffles at this stage of the afternoon.
Did he get into many scuffles in NRRL? I don't remember.
No, he didn't. He was
the gentle giant
out on that right edge, just minding his own business.
Oh, so hang on. So Buchanan's been put on report here. So that'll be interesting to see what comes out of the judiciary out of here. So,
well, it looks like he could be making some sort of accusation here. He's really not happy about something.
So, wonder what's come out of this. It'll be interesting to see what come this week, what goes on at the judiciary, because I can't recall seeing any foul play there. So, nevertheless, we'll watch this space. So I can just make out there. So there's 6 minutes left to go here at QE2 Park. Probably 6 minutes, not long enough for the Cougars at the moment. They've just really been put to the sword here by the Ballina Seagulls, who have time and time again had the playbook to put the big teams and win the big games.
Oh, good pass.
So this is still inside 40. Liam Anderson will get involved in the tackle there. I think that's Chad North getting involved as well. So the Cougars, they're 40 metres out from their own line. This is going to be Bell, and it's just been the story of their game. Can't manage to hold on to that one. So 40 metres away from the Cougars line. Set of 6 beckoning now for the Seagulls.
Yeah, and that was Michael Shipp. He's a really good young player, Michael Shipp, and he's just a tireless worker. So bit of fatigue there for Shipp, and come up with an error. So 5 minutes on the clock. Casino certainly can't win this game, of course, but like I said before, let's just get a positive finish here for the Cougars so that they take this into next week in what will be, Dwayne. That's a really important clash for them, but both them and the Turkeys at New Park.
Exactly. So this is going to be Jamie Lyon on the first phase of play that does well to get it 30 metres away now from the Cougars line. Probably not going to get half a century on this occasion, but they want to rack up and make that scoreline ever so impressive, and they've got into the hands of Jack Durhine. This is Lyon into the hands. I think that's I thought that was Reece Richards there for a second. That's Andrew Moody. Similar headgear. So this is Zach Beecher. Plays it onto the right side into Crosby. And he's looking for help, and he's just going to cop the tackle. And they're inside 20 now. This is now Zach Beecher. Nice little step there by Beecher, and he's just crunched in the tackle. I think that's about, 15 metres away. Now that's going into the hands of Ritter, into the hands of Perry, into the hands of Crosby. He didn't spin. He thought twice about offloading it. Fifth and last. They'll go left side. They do. That's going into Beecher. Kick across that was played at, but it's going to be well collected there by the Cougars. And they'll have it about 20 metres away from their own line.
Yeah, that was class there from Roy Bell. Picked it up off his toes. And now they get a penalty.
So, yeah, you probably think now this is probably one, maybe two sets of 6 tops now for the Cougars. And they probably just want to take some momentum into that game against Kyogle next week at New Park, which is proven going to be a fiery contest at best.
Yeah, come on the Cougars. Let's get a result here, and let's good charge there. That's
nice
Morrissey.
Big run there by Morrissey. Still got fuel in the tank to burn, and does well to get inside the Ballina Seagulls half a field. There's going to be Petty in now into the hands of.
That was shit. That was a great run. He come off
Nice
the back
run by
fence.
Shep. Yeah, Petty gets it. Some quick play here from the Cougars. That's Bolt, and it gets in the hands of Jackie, and nicely tackled in the tackle there. Jamie Lyon getting involved. Yeah, for me, Crossy, I think Denzel Dangerfield probably needed to get more involved in attack, and for good reason. When he has 10 tries in your tally, and he's like, I think coming in this one, he was 3rd overall in the competition. So when he don't, and probably all in fairness to him and to the Cougars, I think Ballina Seagulls might not have allowed him to get to the ball. As we could see there, Noah King, he was probably looking for his 4th try, but not going to happen on this occasion.
It was a good little option there. He just overcooked the kick there. So, yeah, getting back to Dangerfield, yeah.
Yes.
Mate, absolutely. If we can just get him a little bit more involved as well. But, in realistic terms, obviously, if he's more involved today, that they still don't win the game, of course. But they've got to share that workload a bit better.
So that's now Chad North from dummy half. Does well to get it 10, 15 metres off the fly. And another penalty conceded by the Cougars. And you'd think, Crossy, if there was any more time left in the game, you'd think they'd be looking like they could get down to 12 men, because they've just conceded many penalties. They might have, well, actually, I think I could just hear the clock next door beeping, so I think that's going to be it.
Who have we got? Is that Trevor Bolt? No, it's
Josh Beach, I think
that's
down.
Beach, sorry. So he's down. I see your man Michael Dwayne's been given an early mark, so he's done for the afternoon. Just reward for a big effort.
Yeah, he'll get an early exit to the Bruxton Highway heading home. So, yeah, you'd think man of the match. Who you have? You'd think Ollie Regan. I mean, you've got to give it to him for the amount of tries that he scored, and he's just been this last, as of lately, just scoring the amount of tries he has. And I guess if you had a 3-2-1 system, you've got to have Noel King in there somewhere, and probably maybe we'll give him, say, 2 points.
Yeah, Noah King, absolutely. He's had a good game. Geez, Anthony Coleman's played well here this afternoon. Every time he's got the ball, he's been a handful, although he has come up with a couple of little errors. But he's been good. But this Ballina team, I mean, you could sort of go through each one and make a case why someone's been good as well,
Absolutely.
I think Perry was dangerous, and, Ritter and Ritter through the middle, and Crosby's had a good second stint.
So that was Ritter, gets off in their hands. That's I think that's Zach Beecher. And he's going to be held there by Roy Bell. They're played now from Jess Perry from dummy half. And the only thing probably missing for the Seagulls on this occasion is probably Jamie Lyon getting on the score sheet there, Crossy.
I think that's the beauty of this team at the moment. Everyone was thinking, here goes Killer with a kick.
Yeah,
now.
nice kick. And Regan was there trying to read it, but he's going to be taken away from him. So this should be the last set of 6 coming in this game here, Crossy. And Ballina will then sitting pretty, taking on the Mooloolaba Mustangs, who have got the bye today.
Yeah, indeed. No, just to finish off on that note there, I think this is the beauty of this Ballina team is everyone was looking towards Jamie Lyon as being that guy that was going to score them tries and really be that point-scoring machine that we've seen him at Manly. But it's more his finesse and his class and his little touches in games. We've got an error here again.
And right on full time. And so for the first 20 minutes, the Casino Cougars winning it, and since then they have not been. The Ballina Seagulls have just gone up many a gear to get the job done and set up a potential minor premiership decider against the Mooloolaba Mustangs. What an effort from the Seagulls today, and it's just, wow, we weren't banking on 36-12, but then again, you can't be surprised when you're talking Ballina Seagulls there, Crosby.
No, exactly, and congratulations to the Seagulls. They were far too good here this afternoon, but Unfortunately for the Cougars, certainly not their best day out, and in fact, I think probably they've turned in their worst performance for the year today. So I think if Roy Bell, he'd be keen to get them in the shed and really just pull them in as a unit and more or less say, boys, let's just forget about what happened today. It's not what we're about. We've had a good year thus far. We've got a big game next weekend against the Cougars Turkeys. So let's put that out of our mind and let's move forward.
So as I made mention in that first half, the pieces of the puzzle are slowly just getting put together. And as I made mention, like the finals there's still a lot of games to be played, a lot of stories to be told, and eventually get it all put into place. And wow, next week we've got like Casino and Kyogle. Casino should still make the 5 despite this result, and still have a case. They've still got a game in hand as well. I mentioned as well, and not only that, they've still got a little bit of a buffer from 4th and 5th, while 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, and even 8th are going to tussle it out. So, I'm not saying that's going to hinder their top 3 ambitions, of course, to have that second chance. But, they're going to have a team equally as hungry as the Cougars Turkeys, which they're hungry to beat each other at the best of times, as I mentioned during the beef week and stuff. But it's going to also just add that extra flavour. And, of course, as we made mention, now that potential minor premiership, minor premiership decider between Ballina Seagulls and Moolumbar Mustangs.
Yeah, it's going to come down to one of those two, isn't it, for the minor premiership this year? And I think the real interesting one now, Dwayne, I think will be as the battle for 5th spot.
Yes.
Because we saw the Bay get up yesterday over Evans and sort of temporarily push themselves into 5th.
And of course, depending on, we don't have the results here, but of course, Northern United and Coogin were playing simultaneously today out at Crozier.
Yep.
So potentially, I think if Northern United win and the way they've been playing, they've got a case as well. But I think that they would put them on 14 points, I think, and Byron are on 15. So if Coogin win, they go to 5th. If Byron could stay in 5th, but in all fairness to Byron Bay, they've got a big hard road just to get to 5th and keep it. They've got to play these two teams you see out here, as well as the likes of the Mustangs, Tweed Coast, and Coogin. So they've got the hardest draw out of a lot of them. But nevertheless, let's see what the next 5 or 6 weeks brings us.
It'll be very interesting, mate. Looking forward to the next few weeks.
Rossi, absolute pleasure as always, my man. And what a contest today. And have a safe drive home.
Yep. Thank you, mate. And thanks for everyone for tuning in.
So that was full time here at QE2 Parking Casino. Proudly sponsored by Ladbrokes. Head over to ladbrokes.com.au for all your betting information, or download your app today. Gamble responsibly if you do so. Full time here at QET Park at the completion of NRRRL action for round 13. It's the Ballina Seagulls 36, Casino Cougars 12. For the team of Mark Goff Media, the NRRRL, Nathan Cross, I'm Dwayne Neville. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing you the contest. We'll see you next Sunday. And, of course, stay tuned for round 14 of action. Dwayne Neville signing off here from Casino. Have a good evening.